Okay, fair enough. Very good evening, everyone. So, in the last class, we were discussing about money laundering, and almost we understood what is a money laundering, and we understood the process of how a money laundering takes place. But now, that is from an operational perspective, not from an audit perspective. From an audit perspective, we need to understand about how this money laundering should be reported, how this money laundering should be reported. Basically, if we get any instance of money laundering, how will we report that? How will we report that is the topic that has to be discussed in AAA paper. But if you think from an exam perspective, exams in the exam, definitely they can ask questions which will require your knowledge on the operations of money laundering. That is how a money laundering is done. And as I was discussing in the last class as well, that to understand the process of reporting, or to understand the how to find a money laundering transaction, or how to detect a money laundering transaction, we need to understand the operations of how money laundering takes place. Okay, so we discussed in the last class that money laundering is nothing but is you can say three things: conceal the true source of income, income. Okay, income from illegal activities, and having the control over that money, plus providing a legal cover to the money. So there are three C's. Which we discussed in the last class regarding the money laundering. First is illegal cover. Legal cover, then having the control over the money, having the control over the money, and then conceal the true source of income. So understand, guys, now money laundering, see, many of the time we tend to understand that if I am evading the tax, that money is called black money, that money is called black money. But that money is not called money laundering. That process is not called money laundering. Money laundering is a process wherein you are getting the money from illegal activities. Illegal activities and tax evasion, they are two different things. Okay, illegal activities and tax evasion, they are two different things. So don't mismatch that. Okay, so when you are getting the money from illegal activities like terrorist activities, okay, like bribe or so that's what. Okay, now you are hiding this money and trying to make this a legal money. This process is called as money laundering. Now after that, we discussed the three stages of money laundering, which were placement. Then we discussed about layering, and then we discussed about integration. Now let's discuss them one by one in quickly. So can anyone tell me what is the meaning of placement? Let me see if anyone can recall that. What is the meaning of placement? Come on, guys, tell me. Placing the illegal money in the legal system, and this is very good, Tejasri. This, can you give an example of it? Can you give an example? Cash first placed in the financial system. Very good. Can you give an example of it? Can you give an example? Purchasing any property. Very good. Purchasing any property. So placement is the first stage. First point is it's the first stage. Then plus it's like placing the converting the illegal money to legal money. Okay, then tell me the risk is highest in case font size. Okay. Okay, was it? I'll check. Okay, fine. I understood why, but okay, I'll take care of it. Just a minute. I think it will be fine now, right? Okay. So this is the placement is the first stage where we convert the illegal money to legal money. Okay. Now comes to layering. Layering is the second stage. Layering is the second stage where we convert what to what. Let me see who can answer it. Convert from what to what? Convert what to what? So it says convert illegal cash into legal. No, Neha. No. When you did the placement, it already become legal. It already became legal. Now you are converting legal money to a more secure, legal money. Wonderful answer, Sandeep. To a more secure legal money. Now integration. This is the third or the last stage, wherein what happens, the legal money and the illegal money are so well mixed in the legal system that even the money launderer cannot identify that what portion of it is a legal money and what portion of it is an illegal money. Even that cannot be done, right? Blending happens here. Blending of illegal money, of legal and illegal money, right? Exactly, you can say, Sandeep, right? Now, one more thing. Let me see who can answer this. Out of the three stages that we studied, placement, layering, and integration, which stage do you think is the most critical or most risky stage? Very good. Wonderful. So I write here, high risk stage. Okay. Now, okay. So that's all about your last class. Now, we are starting our lecture 2 from here. Lecture 2 commences from here. Now, in the, see, having discussed and understood the process and the meaning of money laundering, now we need to understand the anti-money laundering activities. Now, what are anti-money laundering activities? Are these activities in place to to stop money laundering or to detect money laundering? What exactly it is? So answer is, it is to stop and detect both. How come? See, if you are a industry, meaning thereby any company, if you are any entity, anti-money laundering activities will be placed in your company to stop and money laundering activities. But if you are an audit firm, you will devise this anti-money laundering activities to detect anti-money laundering and to report it. Are you understanding? See, anti-money laundering activities has 3 rules, and anti-money laundering activities has 3 rules. I write here. Anti-money laundering activities has 3 rules. What are 3 rules? Stop, detect, plus report. Stop, detect, and report. Now understand. When you have to stop, an anti-money laundering activities that will happen in any company. It can be any company around the world, right? Where this is. So anti-money laundering activities are devised in a companies to stop money laundering activities. Right? Now, audit firm also has anti-money laundering activities in place. Okay, but these anti-money laundering activities are to detect the money laundering activities if any done in the client, if anything is done in their client. Okay, and if anything is detected, how will that be reported? Are you understanding the meaning of anti-money laundering activities? Tell me, guys, are you understanding the meaning of it? Is everyone clear on the meaning part? Come on, guys, tell me. Okay. Now, what are anti-money laundering activities? We understood that it has three roles, but what it is nothing but certain set of policies and procedures, set of audit policies or procedures that that an entity or an audit firm should have in place. Okay, I write here. These are policies and procedures that an audit firm and an entity should have in place as part of anti-money laundering activities. Now understand, I write here one more thing. Entity will have it for stopping, right? But audit firm will have it for detect and report. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? Fair enough. Now understand, many times what students have done a mistake in the exam, the question might is asking the anti-money laundering activities for the audit firm. They are writing for the client. The question is asking anti-money laundering activities for the client, as the students are writing for the audit firm. So you have to be very much careful. You have to be very careful in reading the requirement of the question. Can you please read this comment from the examiner report? Can you please read this comment from the examiner report? All of you, please go through the this comment from the examiner report. Now we'll start discussing each of the policies and procedures one by one. But first tell me, is it clear so far till here? And is the examiner report comment clear? Anyone having any queries till here? Discuss with me, and then I'll start discussing the anti-money laundering activities. I'll start discussing it, the anti-money laundering activities. Is it clear, everyone, so far? Okay, let's move ahead in that case. Now guys, as I was telling in the first class also, I will tell it now also, and I will tell in the every given class of AAA, that AAA is a paper where you don't need to recall anything in the exam. Okay, you don't need to memorize even a single point for the exam. Not even a single point. Not even a single point. Whatever I'm discussing, do you think that you need to write exactly the same in the exam? No, not at all, not at all. The question will just ask your application. Okay, might be there are some chapters wherein you have to replicate the knowledge. Some chapters, small chapters, okay, wherein you have to replicate the knowledge. But around 95 marks questions will be application based. Around 3 to 4, or even it can be 0 marks theoretical based, or direct questions like you have to write the pointers for that. Okay, 0 marks where you have to write a direct answer that define this or define that, or advantages or advantages, or define the steps. No direct questions, all application based questions, Okay, now understand understand the processes. Client identification. How many of you have opened any bank account at any given point of time. Did you open any bank account? Did you open any bank account? Any of you? Or why only bank account? Any bank, any account, like if you have any LICs, or if you have any insurance, if you have any you can say investments, right? Wherever, tell me. Or if you are using any payment gateways, tell me. Have you registered there? Right? All of us have done. Some other time, all of us have done, right? Or investment like in you can say trading platforms, right? So all their platforms, don't you think whenever you create account, they ask for KYC? They ask for KYC. Do you know the meaning of it or the full form of it? It's called as know your customer. Why do they ask? Why do they ask the personal details like the Aadhaar card, the PAN card, like in India, I'm talking about all these details? Why they do ask? Why do they ask? Why? Because they want to keep a track of other activities that each individual is doing. They want to keep a track of everything, right? Because if in future something suspicious is being found, I can refer all the transactions that you've done, right? So that's the reason they take all the personal details. So that's called client identification. This is also called as customer due diligence. This is also called as know your customer, etc. It has multiple names. It has multiple names, right? Client identification, customer due diligence, or know your customer. Whatever name you want to say. Why it is being done? Why? The reason is to get the background understanding of the customer, and if in future any suspicion arises, the information taken in KYC can be used to track all the you can say information about the customer. Now you will ask, sir, whether this client identification is from a entity perspective or is from a audit firm perspective. I'll say both, but how you have to prove? From an entity perspective. From an entity perspective, how? And from an audit perspective, how? Audit firm perspective, how? Tell me, guys. Come on. Come on, guys. Tell me. How do you think it is from an entity perspective? How do you think it will be used in from an this one audit firm perspective? Tell me. At least try. Do give a try. Entity and audit firm perspective. Sorry. Entity. If the entity is a bank, right, it will apply, it will obtain KYC from its customer, right? If the entity is a bank, or you can say or any other financial institutions, right, they will obtain KYC from the customer, right? Wherever it is possible, right? Now audit firm, if it is an audit firm, they will have this in place for two things. Okay, KYC of each of their client before accepting their audit engagements. Now please tell me whether you are understanding what I'm trying to say. The perspective changes from an entity and audit firm. Are you understanding, guys? Come on, tell me. Come on, Tejasri, Neha, Sandeep, Kitki. Right. So basically, what happens when I'm an entity, before we're doing any transaction with any entity, before doing any transaction with any customer, I will obtain the KYC. But from an audit perspective, from an audit firm perspective, who are their customers? The audit client. Who are their customers? The audit client. Who are their customers? The audit client. Right. So the audit firm will do a client identification or a KYC for their audit clients. You will not find this happening in a small firms, but if you are working as a part of any big four firms, you will see that this is taken very seriously. And if even a small issue is being found in the KYC, they don't accept the client. They don't accept the client itself. Okay, so this is being taken very seriously in all the big four firms. If you have ever worked with them, you will definitely know about this. Okay, now is client identification clear, everyone? Is client identification clear, everyone? Okay, now coming to record keeping. So ACCA guidelines says that, tell me guys, I believe all of you have worked some other time in India, right? And some other time you have studied this one also, auditing standards, right? Now tell me if you are aware of it. In auditing standards, what does it say? You have to keep all the working papers in your audit firm, whatever you have, for how many years? Tell me. What does the auditing standard say? For how many years you have to keep all the documents? Come on, guys, tell me. For how many years do you think the auditing standard suggests to keep the working papers? 5 plus 1? I don't think so. No. It says for 7 years. Okay, but here it is different. It says keep a record. Keep a record of all documents and working papers for a minimum of 5 years. For a minimum of 5 years. Now understand, this is from both, from an entity perspective also and from audit firm perspective also. But we need to understand why they are asking you to keep a record. Why? Can anyone explain me why? Think of it. If you can, probably you can think of it. Why they are asking you to keep a record of all documents and working papers? If you would have listened to my last class properly, you will definitely be able to answer this question. Why a record keeping of 5 years is required? A bare minimum of 5 years is required. Tell me. I can challenge that if you would have listened to my last class properly, you will be able to answer this question. And I will give you a hint. This hint is in layering. Now try to answer. To trace, I understand, but please try to elaborate it a little further. How will record keeping help? So the hint is link this one with layering. All of you are correct, but understand. As I said in the last class, what happens in layering? That I purchase the property in the current year. The next year I will sell the property and I purchase some luxurious car. Again, in the third year I might sell that car and I will deposit the money in the bank account and the FD. I will keep an FD for 2 years and again break the FD and I will invest in the stock market. Okay. So what happens? I'm just trying to increase the number of transactions. I'm doing layering, right? So what happens when the regulator finds any transaction in any particular year? He'll see, oh, this is a valid transaction, right? But if he sees the whole transaction at one go, Then he will understand, oh, this is the original source of this money is from illegal activities, and this is just the layering that is being done to conceal the true source of money from illegal activities, and this is a money laundering activity that is going on. Now, if there is a record for minimum of 5 years, at least I can go back to the source till 5 years, at least. So what will happen? Record keeping will help the investigators, whoever is investigating, will help the investigators to trace the true source, or you can say original source of money, the source of illegal money, right here, illegal money. Okay, is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? Are you understanding the meaning of record keeping? Come on, guys, tell me. Now, internal control policies and internal controls and policies. Understand two things again, guys. You have to understand. I am explaining each of the point from two aspects: entity and audit firm. Okay, though the points are same, mostly their answer will also be the same. Okay, and even if a question asks for audit client and you write for audit firm, or if a question asks for audit firm and you write for audit client, you will get marks for it. You will get marks for it, but you might lose 1 or 2 marks there. And I don't want you to lose that. Even a single mark is important in AAA paper, because AAA paper is a paper which when you study is very easy. Which when you study is very easy. But when it comes to scoring marks, it becomes very difficult. Okay, so you have to understand the practical aspects of a transaction. Now, understand internal control policies and procedures specifically. I'm writing from first from an audit firm perspective, and then also I'll write from a point of view of entity. Anyone of you have had a look into the past papers? We were having holidays for like around continuously for 10-15 days. Any one of you was curious to see into the past papers of AAA, just to understand the paper pattern? Any of you? Because in the orientation we discussed the paper pattern, right? Any of you? No. I'll show it today. When I show you the AAA paper, you will see that there will be a word written. There will be a word written. You are a manager in so and so company, so and so audit firm. Okay. Now you have to think like a manager. You have to think like a manager. Okay. So now manager reports to the partner. Manager reports to the partner. So you should understand the level of thought process that you have to develop for writing your answers. Though it's not that difficult to develop that. If you practice continuously, at least 2 questions a day, if you practice from now, that's nothing difficult. There's nothing difficult to bring that. Only 1 or 2 questions per day. That's all, nothing much. If you can solve 1 or 2 questions per day from today, I can guarantee it will be very easy for you. Now, audit firm. See, tell me, now you would tell me, think practically, whether your answer is right or wrong, doesn't matter, but start thinking practically. Audit firm will have internal controls for what? Audit firm will have internal controls regarding money laundering for what? Tell me what? For what? The purpose. What is the purpose? What is the purpose? 3 roles. 3 roles. Remember the 3 roles. Link with the 3 roles. What is the purpose for having internal controls? Detect and report. Wonderful answer, Sandeep. To detect and to report. Now, how will it detect? So what internal control and policies it should make? So basically, audit firm, what will audit firm do is audit firm will start giving training to their employees to their employees to detect on how to detect money laundering activities. Okay, training to their employees on how to respond if any suspicious money laundering activities are found. Tell me, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Detect, this is detect, and this is respond, means report. How to respond? If you detect, how will you respond to that? How will you respond to that? Exact reporting will come later on, but how will you respond to that? Is that clear, everyone? But now entities stop. So now entity will have control policies. Entity will have control policies regarding different things. See, understand, the approach will be different. Okay, internal controls in place to stop the money laundering activities. Stop the anti-money laundering activities, right? That's why company has internal controls, right? So if anything is having is illegal is happening, or anti something, you can say against the ethics of the company is happening, if the controls will stop that. Like for example, I'll tell you, the company has obtained illegal money. Okay, now the company wants to purchase a property from that. Now the controls of the property says that whenever controls of the company says that if you purchase anything beyond $20,000, you have to get the approval of CFO of the company. Now, see, though might be the case that one of the employee is engaged in the anti-money laundering, is engaged in the money laundering activities, but will CFO support him? No, the CFO will not support. If you think yes, the CFO is supporting, then the management is included in money laundering. The management is also included in money laundering, right? If management is included in money laundering, then no control policies can be helpful, right? Then no control policies can be helpful. Control policies are helpful when the management wants it to be helpful. I hope you're understanding my point. Come on, guys. Right now, okay, so that was one of the example. Now comes the next part is reporting, and that's the very important part. I have seen a question comes directly on reporting, only on this part. This is that big an important concept. Only on this part a question comes up. Reporting. Tell me logically, what do you think you will do if you find any, and if you find, let's suppose you are working in an audit firm like Deloitte. You're working in an audit firm like Deloitte. Okay, you are auditing any audit client. And you find any money laundering activities. Tell me, what will be your immediate reaction? What will be your immediate reaction? Tell me. Think logically. All of you, please answer. Neha, Sandeep, Tejasri, Ketki. Tell to the team leader. Okay, what do you think will happen next? Discuss the matter with the management. Okay, that was the answer that I wanted to listen. Very many thanks, Neha. Now tell me, Neha, that if you discuss the matter with the management, don't you think they will get to know that the auditor has become aware of it? Tell me now. Don't you think they will become they will get to know that the auditor has become aware of it, and they and they will become very much this is what say conscious, or basically they become aware and they will try to remove everything, all the traces of it. They will try to remove all the traces of it. Tell me. Kitki, I don't need that answer. That I have to give it to you. Okay, that knowledge I have to give you. Okay, that I think I have not taught in the class, so we'll discuss. Don't worry. Now, discuss the matter with management. I think you would have faced this issue in practical life. That's why you are able to answer, or you would have studied this paper, this chapter before itself. Okay, discuss the matter with the management is so when you discuss the matter with the management will become aware. The management will become aware that the auditor has become aware of this transaction, and they will remove all the traces of the transaction. Okay, so what happens generally, what we do is we discuss the matter with management. That's what we do. Okay, so Sandeep tell the team leader, Sandeep, understand, if whenever you are working in an audit firm, whenever you are working in any audit firm and you face any issue or you find any issue in the audit client, you never go to the team leader first. You never go to the team leader. First, you discuss with the client and understand what is the actual issue. Okay. After understanding what is the actual issue, okay, you find something is very major here, then you go to the team leader. If you think this can be sorted at your level, you will sort it off. Okay, but that's not the case with money laundering. Money laundering is something exceptional. Okay, so first I'm writing what we do in general. Okay, then I'll tell you how will we report in money in the case of money laundering. Okay, first what do? We discuss the matter with management, then discuss with seniors in the same audit firm, or you can say seniors, discuss with team members and seniors in the same audit firm. Okay, then you can discuss with those charged with governance, right? Then you can discuss, or then you can consider in audit report. I will say we will not do these three things. In case of money laundering, we will not do these three things. Rather, what will we do? Understand? We will report to money laundering reporting officer. We'll report to money laundering reporting officer, which is called as short form is MLRO. Now, who is MLRO? Who is MLRO? Understand. Let me write here. MLRO. All audit firms, not right, all audit firms are required to appoint a MLRO who is a senior person, who is a senior and experienced person, having rich knowledge and experience in money laundering cases. Now, what will MLRO see? This is the meaning of MLRO. Okay. Now, question is, what will MLRO do? What will MLRO do? So MLRO, what will MLRO do? Let's highlight it and try to answer this question. MLRO will evaluate the case, will evaluate the suspicion raised by the audit team. Okay, and if the suspicion is found valid, if the suspicion is found valid, MLRO will report the transaction to the regulator. Regulator can be you can say RBI, regulator can be SEBI, right? These are the regulators. They will it will be directly reported. So basically, understand, let's suppose if you're working in any company and your company has entered into any money laundering transaction, you will not even get to know, and the same will be reported to MLRO. The same will be reported to MLRO, and the MLRO will report it to regulator. So even the company authorities will not even be aware of it. So this is the severeness of money laundering transaction, and it has been called that money laundering transaction is a crime, and the person who does the money laundering are called as the criminals. I think this I told this point in the last class as well, but yes, this point is what you have to remember. Tell me, is it clear, everyone? Tell me, is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? Reporting part. Now understand what I'll do. I'll just make a crux of the reporting also. That what is the overall process you have to follow for reporting. Okay, so that when a question comes on reporting, you are not finding it challenging. Okay, crux. Understand? I like step by step. Step 1: if any audit team member becomes aware of any suspicious money laundering transaction, okay, the same will be reported to MLRO. It will not be reported to anyone else, okay, or you can say reported to senior team member or directly to MLRO okay. Now step 2, MLRO will evaluate the case. Step 3: if MLRO finds the suspicion raised by audit team to be valid, the same will be reported to the regulator. The same will be reported to the regulator. If not, the same will be sent back to the audit team. Okay. Now, important note. When an audit, or I write like this. Just a minute. Important note is like this one. If an audit team becomes aware of any suspicious money laundering transaction, the same will not be discussed with either the management or the audit committee that is those charged with governance. No, you cannot discuss that. Where is it written? The next point is tipping off. What is the meaning of tipping off? Tipping off means if any member of audit team discusses the issue of money laundering with either the management or ACM before or after reporting to MLRO, but before, okay, or I'll write it, but before MLRO sends its final report, okay, that is called as tipping. That is called as tipping. That is called as tipping. I'll try to give a very silly example for this one. Have you ever watched a movie and in the movie someone calls the actor and says that the income tax authorities are coming, right? Was this scene something like that? Tell me, right? And what the person does, he tries to remove all the documents, right? He tries to remove all the documents, so when the income tax authorities will come, they'll not find any documents. That is called tipping off. That is called tipping off. Once you give a tip to the client, they will hide everything. And once the regulator comes to investigate, they'll not find anything. Okay. I'll write here that as point as well. I'll write here. Tipping is to be avoided as if the client becomes aware that auditors have traced the money laundering transaction, okay, then the management will remove or clear all the traces of such transaction, and regulator or investigator might not be able to perform their investigation in an effective manner. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? Okay. Now exam questions. How a question can be tested in the exam. See, before we go to that, I will discuss what we discussed so far. We discussed what is the meaning of money laundering. We discussed what are the stages of money laundering. We discussed in the stages placement, layering, and integration. Then we discussed the third part of the chapter, that is anti-money laundering activities, in which we discussed first is client identification, then is record keeping, then is tell me what record keeping, then internal control and policies. Then we discussed about this one reporting, and then we discussed about tipping off, right? So these are the 5 anti-money laundering policies and procedures that we studied. Now let's understand how a question can be tested in the exam. Read this one. If a question asks you to suggest the policies and procedures that an audit firm should have, then to write reporting requirements, tipping off, record keeping, internal control policy of the audit firm, right? Now if a question asks you to suggest the policy the audit client should have, so you can write the same thing, but yes, see, basically I'll not make it a little bit that complex for you. I'll remove this part. I'll not make it complex for you. Understand the answer for both is same. When the question asks you the anti-money laundering activities for an audit client or for an audit firm, the answer for both of them is same, but you have to change your approach. Are you clear on this one? Okay, are you clear on this one? Tell me, guys. Come on. Fair enough. Now section stage 2. See, as I told that every chapter I will discuss in 3 stages. Stage 1 is conceptual understanding. Stage 2 is article, if we have any technical articles. Stage 3 is the past exam library. Okay, whatever questions we have, these have been asked in the past from these chapters, we'll discuss at least one or two questions from each of the chapters. Okay, at least we'll try to discuss one or two questions from each of the chapters. Now we don't have any article. Now these are the questions which have been asked in the past exams. Now when you talk about the questions in your revision kit, what I will do is just a minute. If I have it here, no, I don't have it here. So what I'll do is I think AAA revision kit is in my home. Okay. By tomorrow end of day, I will send you the questions, list of questions for this one, money laundering, from your revision kit. Okay. I think there are two questions only. There are two questions only, which also will gets covered from these questions. Okay. So don't worry at all. Don't worry at all. Now you have to solve all these four questions plus those two questions. But I'll say that if you solve these four questions, those two questions will automatically get covered. Okay. So how you have to go, that's in you. That's your call. Okay. That's totally your call. But yes, I will be discussing today these two questions with you guys. I'll be discussing these two questions today with you guys. Okay. So let's start to discuss. At least I'll try to discuss one. I'll see if I can discuss another one also. December 2018. Question number 3A. Question number 3 bracket A is for 10 marks. But before I discuss this one, okay, let me discuss this one. Let me open the paper, question paper, and show it to you. Just give me a minute, please. December 2018. Can you see the questions, guys? Can you see the question paper? No? Okay, just a minute. Just give me a minute, please. Can you see it now? Fair enough. Okay. So this is your question paper for September 18. I wanted it for December 18, but just let me see if that question is correct or not. 3A. Just give me a minute, please. This is the question. Yeah. So just tell me, please confirm if I have given you the set of all the past papers. Did I give it to you? Set of all the past papers. See, if you can see, I have the past papers from I think September 18. Okay, okay, not I'll provide it to you. Don't worry, don't worry. I'll provide it to you. The questions along with the answers, I'll give it to you. So you can just refer the soft copy of it. No need to take a print of it. This one, okay? Now, so just understand the approach of the question first, and then I'll see the question which I want to discuss with you. Okay, now understand. See, this is a paper of December 2018. This is a paper of December 2018. Now the paper, the time allowed is 3 hours 15 marks. Section A is one question and section B 2 questions, as I said. Now read the first line. Read the first line. Can you please do that? Can you please do that? Read the first line. What does it say? You are a manager. I'm not solving this question, but yes, I'm telling. The question will ask you from the level of a manager, and you have to report it to partner. See, I'll tell you. I'll show you where is it written. Respond to the instructions in the email from the audit engagement partner. Basically, your partner has requested some information from you and you have to respond to it. So now you are a manager and you are responding to your partner. So understand the level that you have to write your answer, the level at which you have to write your answer, so that in a way that it will be read by the partner, and you are a manager. You are a manager. Okay. So you have to write that level of answers. Now, let's come to our question, which I want to discuss. Question number 3. December 18, question number 3A. Question number 3. Question number 3A. Tell me, how will we go ahead in the question? First, we'll read the question, or first we'll read the requirement? First, we'll read the question, or first we'll read the requirement? Requirement. Very good. December 18, question number 3A, 10 marks. 3A, 10 marks. 4 plus 6, 10 marks. Read the requirement. Discuss the policies and procedures that Thomson and Company should have in place in relation to a anti-money laundering program. Copy. Okay. Now this is the question. This is the question. Now you have to see first. Tell me, what after reading this question, what do you want to check now? What will you check now? Tell me. Come on, guys. Let's go step by step. I am trying to make you think in a way that you have to think in the exam. I'm not trying to give you the answers which you can mug up and write in the exam. No, I'm trying to build your thought process. So read the question and tell me what should be your next question. What should your mind ask or check in the question? You have read the requirement. You have read the requirement. Now what you should check? Very good. Wonderful answer, Sandeep and Tejasri. Wonderful answer. Wonderful answer. Wonderful answers. Everyone, all of you. Wonderful. So first we'll check whether Thomson and Company is an audit client or an audit firm. So let's go and see. You are an audit manager in Thomson and Company, a firm of chartered certified accountants. Meaning thereby, this is being asked from a point of view of audit firm. Discuss the policies and procedures which Thomson and Company and audit firm should have in place in relation to anti-money laundering program. Okay, fine. So tell me, is it a theoretical question or an application-based question? Is it a theoretical question or an application-based question? Tell me. Is it a theoretical question or an application-based question? Tell me. Come on, guys. It is you who have to give the exams, not me. Just both. No, Neha. See what does it say? Policies and procedures which Thomson and Company should have in place in relation to anti-money laundering activities. So how will you write the answers? Without even reading the question, I'm saying it. Without even reading the question in front of you, I'm saying it. Though I have read it in the past batches also I've taught, but I understand. And I'll tell you that you will have this approach once you have solved 5-6 questions of AAA. You will get this approach. Okay. The policies and procedures which are, so what this question directly says, what does it say? Policies and procedures which they should have in place. Is it given in the question? No. They are asking which they should have in place. What are the policies that which they ideally should have, which ideally they should have? So first, what you have to write here, you have to explain the policies and procedures from an audit firm, perspective. But understand, though this is a theory based question, though this is a theory based question, but you have to apply some sense of practical applications. What? But still, we need to apply some sense of practical application, like example I'm giving. Okay, rather than writing audit firm, write Thomason and company in place of audit firm. One of the practical application. Second, take instances from the question. Take instances from the question and place it in policies and procedures. That's all. How exactly? What are the instances that you can take? Let us read the question and then we'll say. Okay, it might be the case that we can get 2-3 instances. It might be the case that we will not get even a one instance. It might be the case. It might be the case. Okay, so let's read the question and try to understand that now. But tell me, is it clear so far? Is it clear so far, everyone? Is it clear so far, everyone? Fair enough. Fair enough. Wonderful. Let's read the question. Guys, understand that in AAA paper, you have to read the question properly. It's not about calculations. It's not about analysis also. It's about application. You are an audit manager in Thomason & Company, a firm of chartered certified accountants. You have recently been assigned to the audit of clean company for the year ended 30th September. This question is in your revision kit as well. Clean company is an unlisted company and has been audit client of your firm for a number of years. Let me write this one point. Let me write this point. Let me write this point. Okay, I write here brainstorming, or I write here planning the answer. I'll show how these points will be in use. Okay, Clean Company is a national distributor of cleaning products. The company buys cleaning products from the wholesalers and employs a team of approximately 750 sales staff around the country who sells the company's products to both domestic and guys, give me 5 minutes. Till then, what you have to do is read the question. Okay, give me 5 minutes, please. Read the question properly. I'll just decrease the font size so that you can read the question as a whole. Yeah, try to read the question. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, just 2 minutes. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. So Clean Company is a national distributor of cleaning products. the company buys the cleaning products from wholesalers and employs a team of approximately 750 sales staff around the country who sells the company's products to both domestic households and small to medium-sized businesses. Around 75% of cleaning companies' sales transactions are cash-based, and each of the company's sales staff prepares a cash sale. Now understand. Around 75% of the cleaning company's sales transactions are cash-based. Copy. Now, and each of the company's staff prepares a cash sales report on a monthly basis. Okay. Now, what's next? According to Clean Company's chief executive Simon Blackers, and in order to foster an entrepreneurial spirit among staff, each staff member, including the senior management team, is encouraged to make cash sales. Encouragement to make cash sales. Okay. And is paid commission or to sell the company's products to friends and family. Mr. Blackers leads the way with this scheme and recently sold cleaning products of value 33,000 to the business associate of his. Okay, copy. Now, he transferred these funds directly to an offshore bank account in the company name where he is the sole signatory. He transferred the funds to an offshore bank account where he is the sole signatory. Now, further review of the audit working papers. Your review of the audit working papers and an initial meeting with the Mr. Blackers have identified the following potential issues. First, now issues. Read this part very carefully. Following your review of the audit engagement letter and the working papers of the taxation section of the audit file, you have established that Thomason and Company performed the tax computation of Clean Company. Understand, read this part. Thomason and Company performed the tax computation of the Clean Company and computed the tax returns for both the company and the Blackers personally. Means Thomason and Company filed the income tax return of Clean Company and Mr. Blackers' personal file also. Both the income tax returns were filed by Thomason and Company. All the taxation services were invoiced to Clean Company. Now, what is it? Though this is not a case of money laundering, but do you think it is ethical? Do you think it is ethical? This is not a case of money laundering, definitely not. But do you think it is ethical? It is ethical. Do you think so? Personal expenses being charged to a company account? No, right? Definitely, this question will talk about ethical and professional issues also. Let's come to the question. See, this question is also talking about ethical and professional issues. But since we have not studied that, we are not taking it up this question as of now. Okay. Further, let's read the question further. Okay. So this point is from an ethics perspective. So that's the reason I'm not highlighting it as of now. Mr. Blacker's personal tax return included a significant number of transactions involving the purchase or sale of properties in the international locations. Tell me, don't you think this raises suspicion? This raises suspicion? Tell me, guys. Come on. The taxation working papers include a detailed number of, okay, now see here again, detailed number of offshore bank accounts in Blacker's name, which identified property transactions. Again, now further, during your initial meeting with Mr. Blackers, he informed you that the Clean Company is planning to develop a new website in order to offer offline sales to his customer. He has asked Thomason and Company to provide assistance. This is not a case of money laundering again. As a result of the client premises. Okay. Now, this is also not a case of money laundering, so don't read that. Don't read that. Okay. Now, this is the case. Tell me, can you take up any instances and put in the policies and procedures? Tell me, can you take up any instances and put in the case of put these in this one? Yes, I'll tell you what. What are the policies you will write first? Tell me, what are the policies you will write? First, you write about client identification. First, you will write about client identification, right? I'll explain. I'll explain. Policies and procedures that Thomason and company should have in place. Now, let me write it off. First is client identification. Then is you can say record keeping. Then is you can say internal controls policies. Then you can say reporting, and then you can say one more is tipping off. Okay, now understand what you write. Client identification. Don't you think you should write? Don't you think you should write that the client, that the Thomason and company, just give me a minute. Thomason and company has been the auditor, has been an auditor for a number of years. Now let me link this one. Think of it this way: you met a person for the very first time. You will be very suspicious, but you are meeting that person, the same person, for the nth time. Tell me, you will become very friendly. Yes or no? Tell me yes or no. Come on, guys, tell me yes or no. Right? Now, can a unknown person do a cheating with you? No. But a known person can do, right? Because you will get to trust a known person. You will get to trust a known person, right? So what happens? The client identification is definitely done for the new clients. But for a client which is an old client, will we do client identification? Will we do client identification? For old clients, will we do client identification? No, will not do, right? Will not do. So the Thomason should have a process. That for this client also, for clients like Clean Company, which is an old client, for a number of years, the customer due diligence should be done properly. Now, record keeping, that's a theoretical point. Internal control policies, theoretical point. Reporting is again a theoretical point. Tipping off, you should write that the Thomason and company after becoming aware of the money laundering transaction being taken by the Clean and Company, should not discuss that with the Simon Blackers, or any of the company's executives. Rather, the same should be reported to MLRO, and MLRO will evaluate whether the case is valid or not. If it is found to be valid, the same will be reported to the regulator. Tell me, guys, is it clear? And will you be able to write the answers? Will you be able to write the answers now? Come on, guys, tell me. Okay, fair enough. Now, so this is part A. 4 points. You can 4 marks. You can write only 4 points. So I have done how many points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can remove any one point. Whichever you want to. Okay. You have to write 4 marks, 4 points. Don't write anything extra. If you think you can write anything extra and secure marks, not happening. AAA is a paper where you have to do time management again properly. Okay, not only AAA, the professional level papers are the papers where you have to do the time management properly. Okay, so write what is required. Don't write something extra. Is it clear, everyone? Okay. Now coming to part B, which is the important part. Part A, part 2. Evaluate whether they are indicators of money laundering by the clean company or its staff. Understand, guys, the question can come in two forms. The question can come in two forms. First, I write here two forms of question. Two forms of question from money laundering. One, understand the type of question very well. Okay. First, assess, or you can say evaluate. It will say the question will say evaluate the transaction. Then, or you can say evaluate the indicators of money laundering. Now, see, there is a difference between both the question. Okay, though the answer will be more or less the same, but there is a difference between both the questions. One question is silent, evaluate the transactions. Another question says evaluate the indicators of money laundering. Okay. Now, what is happening in one question? It is not saying the word money laundering. It will not say the word money laundering, but in another question it says the word money laundering. So what happens in first question? If this type of question comes up in the exam, evaluate the transaction. What you have to do is you have to first define what is money laundering. First, you have to define what is money laundering. Then you have to identify the indicators in the question, and then try to link this one with the case of money laundering and prove that they are money laundering transactions. You have to prove. But in this case, you just need to discuss the indicators. You are not required to prove that it is money laundering, because it is already given in the question that it is a case of money laundering. It is already given in the question that it is a case of money laundering. Are you able to understand the question, guys? Are you able to understand the question? Again, the answer for both of them will be the same. But yes, little bit approach will change. Or you can say one or two lines will change. And those lines really does matters. See, I'm not saying that if you don't write those lines, you will not get marks. Let's suppose this is of 6 marks, right? Out of 6 marks, if you understand this approach, you can secure around 4 or 5. But if you don't understand this approach, you might secure around 2 or 3. So 1 marks matter, 1 or 2 marks also matters. Okay, but just by writing that one line, that it will definitely impact. And you know what is that line? This proves that it is a case of money laundering. That's the only line. Nothing difficult. That's the only line, that it is a case. This proves that it is a case of money laundering. You have to show the link. You have to first prove the link that it is a case of money laundering. Are you understanding, guys? You might find it the structuring is very difficult in AAA. Again, I'll say it again and again. Yes, it is, but it requires your practice. Okay. Now let's understand how to write the question for this one. Okay, solution. So first, what will you do? You will define money laundering. Will you be able to do it? Money laundering defining. Now, then, okay, discuss about 3 stages of money laundering. Okay, and you will get around 2 marks for this one. Now, another, analyze, read and analyze the question. Read and analyze the question and find the indicators of money laundering and link the same with the process or stages of money laundering. That's what you have to do. Tell me, is it something difficult? Tell me, guys. Come on, guys, tell me, is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So now, again, let me take up one more question. Let me take up one more question so that it will give you a better understanding about the things. I'll take up June 16 as well. June 16, 3B1, 7 marks. You want to read the answer also for this question? Let me read the question answer also so that you will understand what I was trying to say. Let's read the answer also, December 18. 3A. See, read. Understand. Thomason and Company should have established anti-money laundering program within the firm. See, though it's just that I'm reading the answers, but yes, you have to understand my where I'm giving emphasis. Okay. So it says that what are the policies and procedures that the Thomason Company should have as part of this program? The firm should have appointed an MLRO, right? We discussed this point, MLRO, right? Now let me highlight it off. Okay, with an appropriate level of experience and seniority, right? The same video wrote. The audit firm should also have internal reporting lines, right? This also we discussed, I think, in the class. Which should be followed with to reporting suspicious. Should probably have a standard form which should be used to report suspicious of the ML report to MLRO. Okay, fine. The typical content of the internal report to be on suspected money laundering may include the name of suspect. Okay, fine. There's something challenge. It mostly talks about MLRO. Okay, but yes, you can talk about small in everything for everything. Okay, right. So it's right. Credit will be awarded for relevant answer points in relation to the firm's anti-money laundering program, such as client due diligence, further staff training, and maintaining adequate records. Right. So that's what your answer will be recorded. Tell me, does this give you a sense of comfort? Does this give you a sense of comfort over the answers? Come on, guys, tell me. Okay, now coming to second point, evaluation of the possible indicators of money laundering activities. Now see, what does it say? First, it defines money laundering, right? It is a process by which criminals attempt to conceal. Do you need to by heart this definition? Not at all. Not at all. You are not required to by heart this definition. No. You can write a simple definition in your terms. It can be as simple as money laundering is a process wherein illegal money is converted into legal money. Okay, by providing you can say by concealing the true source of their income. But I will say, see, I have given you 3 C's. 3 C's: conceal, control, cover. Remember the 3 C's: conceal, control, cover. Try to write 3 C in your answer and you will get full marks for definition. In case of clean company, the circumstances may be indicative of the money laundering activities include the following: cash intensive business. Yes, this is the point which I wanted to discuss with you also. Understand, money laundering activities or the illegal money can be routed through which business? Or I will put my question other way around. Which business do you think has the high risk of money laundering? Which business do you think will have the high risk of money laundering? I discussed this in the last class. Tell me, which business do you think will have the high risk of money laundering? Let's suppose I tell you my business where I take all the money in my bank account, or let's suppose a business of a business of an entertainment industry, like you can say cinema halls, right? Cinema theaters. So all they take all the transactions in cash there, right? Or you can say petrol pumps, right? Petrol pumps, they take everything in cash there. The chances is very high. There the chances are very high, right? So any business which works on a cash model, has a very high chances of money laundering. Now again, Anywhere if you find multiple offshore bank accounts, or you are transferring the money to offshore, receiving the money from offshore, that indicates a money laundering. Or you see multiple capital transactions. Multiple capital transactions. Capital transaction means purchase of properties, purchase of you can say luxury cars, multiple. Okay, then that's also an indicative of money laundering. See, read the answer. Read the answer. Please try to read the answer. I'm waiting here for 2 minutes. Please try to read the answer. Please try to read the answer, all of you. When it's done, do let me know. Okay. See, what does it say? Cash. Premium company is a high level cash based sales company, 75%, and a high volume of individual sales report. The nature of this business therefore creates a significant risk that illicit funds or illegal funds are being passed off as illegitimate sales, right? More specifically, Mr. Blacker sale to a business associate of 33,000 may be an example. What it says, I have sold to one of my friend or to one of my relative. It might be the case that this 33,000 might be illegal money. Might be the case, right? In order to legitimize them as genuine sales, the size of the transaction in a business selling cleaning products and around some amount may be additional grounds for suspicion in relation to this transaction. International property transactions. Again, as I said, cash and international property transactions and international transactions for that matter, they all are suspicious of money laundering activities. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? If once it is clear, do let me know. Once you're done reading the answers, do let me know. I'll move on to the next question. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is June 16. June 16. Question number 3B, if I'm not wrong, right? 3B1. This is June 16, right? 3B, 3A, 3B. Yeah. Now see, the other form of transaction is here now. The other form which I was talking about is here. Read the question. Read the question. Read this question, please. Only this part. Only cash transfers. Don't read this part. Don't read this part. Only read from here to here. Only read the highlighted part. Okay. Read the question. I'm giving you 5 minutes to read the question. Now, read the requirement. Evaluate the implication for the completion of the audit. Recommend any further actions which should be taken by your audit firm. Is it mentioning anywhere about money laundering? Tell me, does the question requirement mention anywhere about money laundering? Tell me. Anyway, does it mention about money laundering? No. Then how will you identify this is a case of money laundering? So what does the question say? You have to evaluate the impact of these two transactions. You have to evaluate of the impact of these two transactions on completion of your audit, right? And what is the action that you will take as an audit firm? What is the action that you will take as an audit firm? So first, what you have to prove? First, you have to prove that this is a case of money laundering. First, you have to prove that this is a case of money laundering, and then you have to prove. Then you have to write your actions. Your action can be reporting to MLRO. Reporting to MLRO is will be your action, right? What will be your action? What is the action that you take, or how will you respond? How will you respond once you find a case of money laundering? Right? So what I said, anti-money laundering activities has two things: detect and report. Detect and report. Right? So we are not talking about detect now. We are talking about reporting. What is the action that you will take once you find the money laundering activity? What is the action that you will take? You will report. Report to whom? MLRO. Report to whom? MLRO. So how will you answer in this case? How will you answer in this case? Let me write it. Let me write it off. What is the question? This one. How many marks? 20 marks means 10, 7 and 6. Okay, 7 marks. This was 7 marks. Requirement is for 7 marks. Seven marks. Now, how will you write the answer? So first, what will you do? You will define. You will define money laundering, as I said. Then you will evaluate the indicators of money laundering. Okay. Then prove that this is a case of money laundering, and then you report to MLR. This is how you have to write the answer. Now see, compare your answer here. Evaluate the transaction. Okay, now here, define money laundering, read and analyze the question. See here, define money laundering, evaluate the indicators. But third point is the additional point here. See, this is an additional point. Prove that this is a case of money laundering. And how you have to prove? Once you write this one, and once you write this one, it is already proved. So you have just need to write an additional line. This proves that this is a case of money laundering. That's all. Tell me, is it something difficult? Tell me, guys, is it something difficult? Tell me. Do you think is it something difficult? Not at all, guys. Not at all. Let's read the answer for this one also. But let's read the question first. We have not read the question only, right? We didn't read the question. Let's read. The question is exactly the same of what we studied right now. You are a manager responsible for the audit of your company, a chain of health and leisure clubs owned and managed by entrepreneur Phil Smith. The audit of for the year ended 30th November 2015 is nearing completion, and the draft financial statements recognize total assets of $27 million and a profit before tax of $2.2 million. The audit senior has left the following file notes for your consideration during a review of the audit working papers. Now, read the first point. During your review of the cash book, you have found a receipt of $350,000, okay, which was identified, which was accompanied by a description bank deposit, BD, bank deposit. Okay, so it says you have found in the cash book, you find that $350,000 was just deposited in the bank account as bank deposit. Bank statement showed that the following day a nearly identical amount was transferred to a bank account in a foreign country. Now what is happening? This someone transferred this money to my bank account, and I transferred the same amount to in the very next day to some foreign country. Now, when I asked the finance controller about this, he requested that I speak with to Mr. Smith, as he has the sole responsibility for cash management. According to Mr. Smith, an old friend of his, Brain Davis, has loaned the money to the company to fund the further expansion, and the money has been invested until it is needed. Documentary evidence concerning the transaction has been requested from Mr. Smith but has not yet been received. What is happening? Open up your mind and see. First, you receive certain money, you transfer it to foreign country in the very same day, the similar amount. First suspicion. Second, you're telling that your friend has loaned you the money. There is no documentation for that. There is no documentation for that. Second evidence, and the most important evidence, there is no information regarding that. There is no information regarding that. Right? So these are the indicators again. Now you have to prove that this is a case of money laundering. After proving, then you have to do the reporting part. Let's read the answer now. 3B1. Cash transfers. Can you please try to read the answer? Can you please try to read the answer from here to here? Now, seeing the length of the answers, please don't be fascinated that I have to write this much length. I'll tell you. Answers of the revision kit or answers of the past papers are suggested answers. The answers are for tutorials, meaning thereby they will write all the possible cases. But in the exam, you are not required to write all. If the question is for 7 marks, you have to write just 7 points. I'll tell you that even if you try to write this level of answer in the exam, you will not be able to do that. You will not be able to match that level in the exam. So please don't try. Okay, just try to learn as much as you can from the answers. Okay, just try to learn as much as you can from the answers. Please read this. This unusual, unexplained cash transfer. See, is it transferring? Is it saying anywhere money laundering? No, it's not. They're not saying anywhere money laundering. See, starting. This unusual, unexplained cash transfer from a foreign bank account indicate that Phil Smith is using your company to carry out money laundering. Now, this is how it is proving. Money laundering is defined. See, first it says that, then it starts with the definition. Then it says, it is possible that the proceeds of criminal activity has been placed in your company's bank account to enable them to transfer the funds to a foreign account, thus providing them with the appearance of legitimacy and creating a trail which is difficult to trace the original source. Means layering, they are doing layering. See, they are writing. This process is known as layering. Right? According to ACCA's technical fact sheet 145 anti-money laundering guidance, are you required to read this? No, not required. Money laundering can result from a single transaction such as cash placed into York's bank account, which is called as placement. The fact that Mr. Smith retains sole control over the cash management and the financial controller has no oversight or involvement in this indicates the weak controls over cash. Right? For example, this appears to be no segregation of duty, which may be the intention of Mr. Smith to facilitate illegal activity. Basically, what I have happening? Let's suppose it's my business and I want to do some illegal activity, so I will keep the control over my business myself, right? Because I want to do illegal activities. That he has failed to provide any documentary evidence despite the request to do so by the audit team only arouses suspicion further. It is also possible that the company is being used as a vehicle for money laundering without Mr. Smith's knowledge. Okay, it is possible that the money has been accepted in good faith without the source of funding being adequately verified. Right? So basically, this is what they are trying to write all the possible cases, all the possible situations. Okay, so they will try to evaluate the amount, the materiality of the amount, because the question is giving you the this figure. See here, I'll come here just a minute. See, the question is giving you the amount, the question is giving you the value of total assets, so you can calculate whether this amount is material or not, right? And you will secure 1 marks for that. So this is how they are trying to prove. And then here it comes the action that you are trying to report it to MLRO, and tipping off should not be done. These are your actions. These are your actions. So this is how you have to write your answers in the exam. This is how you have to write your answers in the exam. Is it there, everyone, guys? Yeah. So can I expect you to solve all the 4 questions? Can I expect you to solve all the 4 questions? Come on, tell me, guys. Can I expect you to solve all these 4 questions? Again, if you go to June 14 and June 12, the questions will be from a similar level, right? So don't worry at all. Don't worry at all about it. So what I do, I'll share right after this today's class. I'll share all the questions with you, all the question paper with you, along with the answers, so that you have the ready reckoner with you, guys. Whenever you want to read any questions or their answers, you can definitely do that at any given point of time. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear, everyone? Okay, fair enough. Now, So this ends our topic on money laundering. This ends our topic on money laundering. But I have certain points to discuss with you now from an orientation chapter point of view. Guys, as I was telling in the last class as well, that we have this syllabus, right? Part A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Current issues I will be discussing personally with you at the once I have discussed everything. So current issues I will be discussing with you. Okay. Now, when it comes to part A, B, C, D, E, F, part A is not something that that we should that requires my involvement with you. Okay. So what I will do is the only chapter which was important in part A was money laundering. Okay, which requires my involvement. Okay, which requires my rest all. What I will do, I will provide you with the videos for this one. Okay, I will provide you with the videos for this one for part A. Okay, now for similarly for part F also, it doesn't require anywhere my involvement, but yes, I can assure you at any given point of time, if you need any assistance in the question solving, I will be there for you. Okay, so we will be provided with a video on this one as well. Now all the other parts, so what I will do, I will totally shift my focus to part D and part E first, part D and part E first, which will cover of 60 to 60 marks, bare minimum 60 marks. Okay, I will shift my focus from to here. So firstly, what will happen from the next live class, I will be discussing with you professional and ethical matters, which will be asked definitely in the exam for around 15 marks. Okay, so and part D and part E will be asked in the exam for, you can say, around 60 marks. Okay, so that's the reason I want to shift my focus. Part C, I will have to evaluate later on according to the availability of the time with C. Okay, but yes, part B is a part where I want to discuss that with you. Part D and part E, again, I will discuss with you in the live class. Part A, we will give you videos. Part F, we will provide you with the videos. Okay. Part C, we will evaluate it later on. Okay. So I hope this is fine for all of you. Because part D and part E are the topics or the areas where it requires my involvement. Okay. Because those are the practical oriented topics. Part A, part F, you will see mostly they are theoretical based topics. Okay, money laundering was the only chapter which was little bit oriented towards practical. Okay, so that's the reason I wanted to take up in the live class. Rest all from part A and part E, part A and part F will provide you with a video on that. So the video will be uploaded in this week itself, so don't worry at all about it. Okay, so that's all for the day. If you have any queries, definitely we can take it up, otherwise we can wrap up the class. Tell me, guys. Chapter numbers covering part A and part F. Okay, though okay, let me open that. Just allow me a moment. I'll do that. Okay, or in the what I can do is in the next class, that is on Saturday, I'll do that allocation as well. Okay, I'll do that allocation as well. Right? Make sense? I'll provide that allocation. Okay, so that's all for the day, guys. Thank you. Bye bye. Please do solve these questions, and I'll send these questions across in the group. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.